Hi, Nalinquisitor again. This is my day off, so I'll just shoot video as I please. This one will be about my campaign setting using the Paragons book. This book from Mutants and Mastermind, Paragons, is a toolkit. In fact, you cannot take this book and just run it as it is. It's since this genre of supers meet real world really depends on what do you want to do with it. This book really presents itself as a toolkit. You have several organization, faction, character NPCs, event, sub-mechanics you can use, but you're not obligated to do it. So I will present you the choice that I've made for my game, and it's concerning what I call a faction map I just did. It's a technique I used for every game I have with politics and faction and organization, that they are fighting and influencing each other, and there is some alliance and enemy organization. So I use a technique. I don't remember where I learned this. I don't remember. I could not remember. But I just show you how I do it, and maybe you could. Maybe it will give you some tool if you have never done something like that. So I'll just hold up the sheet in front of me. If you're one of my players, just don't look at this video, please. Major spoiler ahead. So here's the what I call a faction map in Paragons, and before covering the faction map, here's the legend. So each organization is a circle, or a kind of a circle. And between the circle you have organizational ties, I would say, and a straight line represents an alliance. A dashed line with an arrow means an influence, so an organization will influence another one. A direct line with an arrow means control. This organization control that one. A double arrow line means a conflict that is existing. It can be a war, it can be an economic conflict, it can be a political conflict. You can write on the arrow event, you can specify what kind of conflict you have. And then a dashed arrow with double line for a possible conflict, a conflict that is in the creation. So our friend, the Watchdogs, are the mini group. It's really a 3 people group, and you can see that they already have some stuff going on with them. So yeah, their first encounter were with Unity. Even though it's not really a group, there was a conflict with this entity that were in fact a hive mind. So in reality it was a group, it was several people, but this group doesn't exist anymore. But there was a conflict between these two groups. Now our watchdogs are being hunted by the law enforcement agency, police, FBI, NSA, whatever you have, and there is a conflict between the two. Of course, they will not cease to run away, they will not surrender. So if they're forced to encounter the law enforcement agency, shit's going to be down. So that's for sure. Last night our character were contacted from an agent of the Pantheon. The character Ross Hartman, codename Hardman, because he can change it into steel, contacted them, and they kind of accepted this deal. So now there is a connection between an alliance between the Pantheon and the Watchdog. They will kind of operate under the assumption of the Pantheon. And since it's the beginning of their alliance, there is not influence between those two organizations. Maybe later on the Pantheon will start to give them mission to kind of pay back what they ask them for help. So maybe the Pantheon will become their patron and their boss, and I will have to add a little arrow there. The biggest enemy of the Pantheon is the Initiative and the infamous Mr. Death. So there is a big line here, and I kind of feel like a school teacher doing that. But there is a big line of conflict, as you can see, between those two organizations. It's really the war between them. It's a secret war, so it's not in the open. The two major factions kind of influence the government. It's not really sure, and it's really mysterious. At this point, this map is already not clear, and just a brain teaser for myself or some kind of note. You see, this kind of representation of mapping is named a mind map. Most of GMs will just write a list of organizations on a sheet, and it's kind of difficult to see which is influenced where, and you can forget one. So having them organized in an organic fashion like that is called a mind mapping technique. So it's I don't know about the theory behind that, but it seems like our brain think in that way. So yeah, try it out and tell me how it goes. So the Initiative is we're connected. If you watch my previous video, the Initiative was influencing a group called the Ark that disappeared in 2009. In the story, they had some paranormal activity going on that were really public and out there and covered by the media. And the day after that, nobody remembered it. So the Initiative kind of controlled the media in my game. So if something weird happened right on the TV, for some reason, the day after that, nobody will remember it. Maybe paragons will remember it, but normal people will not. So they're kind of a cover-up mission that is probably controlled by the Initiative. And you have the government, of course, controlling the law enforcement agency, which is at its turn in a war with the Watchdog. And there, just for 3 games of Paragons, you have the full spectrum of the faction in my game. So next time I talk about the Initiative, the Pantheon, Watchdog, you will know a little bit more what's going on. And the last one is Merlin, which is an international organization of paranormal investigation, kind of like the Ghost Hunters from TAPS. They're really into looking out strange stuff, UFO, ghost, werewolf, they're into that. Basically it's kids with beat up vans and old equipment going around and pretend to hunt stuff. And since their mission is about exposing the truth, there is probably a conflict between the Initiative and the Merlin going on. But this organization is so small and so fragile. If they push the truth too far, the Initiative will have to act, and maybe they will act in a way that Merlin will never anticipate it. Maybe they're already under the influence of the Initiative, but their mission, their core mission is expose the truth. And yeah, last night Russ Hartman kind of did an Initiative kind of mission, because the Merlin guy were investigating the Watchdog, also known as the Trinity, as a way of saying killers with the names, because they are 3 and they massacred 12 people, and people of Unity have seen them. There is 40 witnesses. So these Trinity are kind of weird, but the Merlin guy got close to them last night. And because of Agent Hartman of the Pantheon, he just told the Merlin guy that these guys were normal people and just afraid and just fugitive. So the Merlin guy, the link between them cannot go longer because of the excellent work of Ross Hartman. So for Merlin, the watchdogs are just dudes with some heavy problems with the law, and there's nothing supernatural about it. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this. Maybe you could do that for your campaign. I don't know. I'm a very visual person, and just taking a piece of paper and just drawing some stuff like that helped me figure out more about my campaigns. It's especially it's very useful for a game like Vampire the Masquerade, a Game of Thrones, any game you have politics and factions and organization that fight each other. So there you go. I hope you have a good time, and see you later. Bye.